Hello guys, this is the Decoder and welcome to another video. Now before we begin today's video, I'd like to apologize to you guys. I was supposed to review this game last season, but I wound up reviewing a couple more NASCAR games instead. Now the reason I did this was because I've been trying to spread out my NASCAR game reviews, because there are only so many NASCAR games, and if I, overdo it, I'm going to wind up not having that many, or even one at all, to review in future seasons. Now, I know I reviewed 6 NASCAR games in my NASCAR Xbox Series Decoded. However, my intent from the beginning was to do that, and then eventually, once I start doing video reviews, to do each game separately with gameplay and more details. And I still have that intent. Now, I did actually finish the video last year. There isn't much I'm really going to change about it, so I don't really think it's worth putting up, the old version. But if you guys want it, you'll get it. Just let me know in the comments. If some of you guys want it, I'll put it up. Anyway, I'm sorry about that. Let's get to the review. Now, the first thing I want to mention, it's something I've complained about in NASCAR games, and this game, the thing I've complained about was how most of the EA NASCAR games, all of them except for like NASCAR 08, didn't have enough drivers for a full field, and they would fill out the rest of the field with Busch or nationwide drivers or fantasy drivers. Well, in this game, there are 42 real-world Cup drivers in the game. And you want to know what the sad part is? Is that none of the 3 Ganassi cars were in there, and Ganassi is a big team. Now, I don't know why they weren't in the game. They may have had to deal with another gaming company, possibly even EA, because they were in EA's games. But, I don't really know why they weren't in it. But it's sad seeing them have this handicap of not being able to include one of the biggest teams and still be able to reach the 42 drivers. Now, there's 43 drivers in the field, but that 43rd driver is supposed to be you, and that's acceptable. Another thing I like about this game is that it's based off the 2003 season, and it has 2003 season in the title. Now, I know why EA, titled it a year in advance. It's just their thing, but it just feels good to finally, okay, 2003, not 2004, okay, it's the 2003 season. You know what I mean? One of the great things about this game are the patches and mods available for the game. You can add future Cup seasons. You can go up to the current Cup season, and that's it's just really cool. You can add new tracks in that too, and the best part is, the patches and mods are still coming out today, nearly a decade after the game was released. There are all 23 of the tracks NASCAR competed in the 2003 season are in the game. There's also a fictional Coca-Cola Speedway as well. The paint booth is very detailed. You can customize the driver suit as well as the crew suits and the pit box. And, it's sad seeing how you can do it in this game, but, the NASCAR games coming out now, you can't. Honestly, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but it just feels so much better customizing your car through a mouse rather than a game controller. I don't know. There are also stamps where you can add your associative sponsors and all of that. There is also tons of customization in this game. You can customize your session times for your practice and happy hour. Note that these sessions are continuous, meaning if you leave the room for 5 minutes, when you go back, 5 minutes of practice will be up. So that's pretty cool. You can also turn on or off whether the lap cars will line up on the bottom like they did in real life. You can also customize your weather as well as your roster, pick and choose who you want in the race, and also customize, the temperature, the wind, the speed, the direction, and all of that. Most of the NASCAR rules are in this game. I wish that maybe there was a little customization with that. But, it is supposed to be a simulator, so it's understandable why there isn't any customization with that. There are driver lesson videos in which they'll teach you the rules and, just good techniques for your driving. You can also test at any of the tracks and just go out by yourself, get used to the track, work on your setups and all of that. Speaking of your setups, the setups get very detailed. I'm not a big setup guy. I don't really mess with that. But if you are one of those guys that likes to goof around with that, you won't be disappointed. All of your records are kept, all of that fun stuff. You can also save replays, and when you're out of the car, you can goof around and, just view the replay and that too while you're at the track before you save it. So that's cool, and that's not something that came in a console NASCAR game until 2007. So there is a championship mode in which it'll take you through the full 2003 season, and that's pretty fun. Go out there and compete for the championship. You can also play online. I've never played online, but I've heard it's pretty, and I think there are still people playing it today. So you can also have preset chat to where if you press B, you can have a specific message come up and that too. So there's that. Also, the graphics are good, the damage is good, especially for the time. Let's not forget, I know I already said this before, but this game came out almost a decade ago, about 9 years, close enough to a decade. It's very impressive, especially for the time. This game, it's not available in stores anymore, obviously. It's discontinued by now. But it still goes for about $50 on Amazon or any of those websites. And, it's the EA deal. EA wrapped up an exclusive license with NASCAR, and it's just really what killed the series and why Papyrus couldn't do another game. I believe this game was even taken off shelves early because of that. I'm not 100% sure about that one, but I'm pretty sure that's what happened. And it's unfortunate. This was Papyrus's last video game, so it's very unfortunate to see such a great game and such a great company, just die. When EA's deal with NASCAR wore out, a bunch of us were hoping Papyrus would somehow get back together and start making NASCAR games. But unfortunately, it didn't happen. It wound up going to Technics. However, a bunch of the Papyrus guys got together and created a new racing game, sort of, known as iRacing. You can sign up online and play online against people, and NASCAR became part of that program. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention was the gameplay. The gameplay is great, especially for a simulator. If you're more of a casual player, you might have as much fun. You might get frustrated at the game, but if you're a huge simulator fan, you'll love it. Especially if you're a NASCAR fan too. Anyway, there's no doubt in my mind this game deserves a 10 out of 10. It's definitely passed the time test. The test of time. I don't know why I reversed that, but it's just an incredible game. If you're a NASCAR fan, I would recommend getting the game. If you're a fan of racing simulators, even if you're not a fan of NASCAR, I think you should check this one out. You might become a fan of NASCAR after playing this game. It's just that good, and it's wow. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. This has been the Decoder. I'll see you guys next week.